It was not an ordinary funeral. It was an extraordinary funeral. We had it on the back deck of the little house that we had bought together just a few years before. It was just me and my husband, Tony. There were no flowers. There was no pastor. There was no music. It was just us sitting there holding a funeral. Holding a funeral for our marriage. Because you see, our marriage, as we knew it, had died. We, as a couple, had died. It happened after years of struggle. It wasn't something that we planned, because no one walks down the aisle thinking that they're going to get divorced. Let me take you back so I can tell you how we got there. I remember the first time I saw Tony. We were at a baseball game, and I am sitting in the bleachers, and he is standing in the dugout, and he is tall, and he is good looking, and he does not know it yet, but he is about to be mine. We were young, and we were in love, and we did all of the things that young and in love couples do. We went to parties, and we went to football games, and we were silly, and we were funny, or at least we thought we were funny. We were young, and we were in love, and we knew we wanted to get married. I remember the first time doubt crept in. I was on a road trip with Tony's mom. We were driving along in her van, and she and I got along really, really well. And we're just chatting away, and I don't know how we got on the subject, but she looks at me and she says, "Alex, I don't know if Tony is going to be able to give you what you need." And I was like, well, where did that come from? I was like, but how could you say that? You don't know us. How could you? I don't understand. And I didn't let that doubt win. I moved forward. And it wasn't too long after that we got engaged. And the movie Titanic was popular at the time. And I was obsessed with it. With Jack and Rose, I'll never let go. My heart will go on. Celine Dion blaring on the radio. And it was a thing. And I was talking to my sister. We were in her basement. And I remember saying to her, I said, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure that Tony and I have that Titanic type of love, that sort of be all, end all, I'd let myself slip into a cold, deep, dark ocean for you kind of love. And she looks at me and she's like, that's a fantasy movie kind of thing, right? And I was like, yeah, but I wonder, are we gonna grow into that kind of love? What happens if that kind of love is out there and I miss it? She reassured me again, it's just a fantasy movie type of thing. So I didn't let doubt win. I kept moving forward, and we got married. We got married right as I was finishing up my graduate degree. And we did all of the things that young married couples do. We got jobs, we bought a house, we hung out with our friends, and we struggled. We struggled with things like money, with job loss, with figuring out who we were as adults and who we were as a couple. We were holding it together when we decided to start our family, and it wasn't very long before our daughter Carmen was born. And I remember wondering, was she going to grow up with the kind of parents that I wanted her to have? Was she going to grow up with the kind of parents that she deserved to have? I can tell you the moment. I can tell you the moment I was standing in the hallway right outside of her nursery, and I'm holding her in it, and she's in red footy PJs, and I am squishing her face to mine, and I said out loud, I can only take care of one of you, and I know which one I choose. That for me was the moment that my marriage died. It wasn't long. It wasn't long before we were moving forward and we were announcing the divorce. Doubts rolled in from everywhere. I would come home to an answering machine full of messages, full of things like, are you sure you want to do this? What's going to happen to you? What's going to happen to your daughter? Are you sure you can handle the consequences of this? I even opened an email from Tony that said he would do everything in his power to change who he was for me. And let me tell you how I wanted to believe that it would be right and it would be fair to ask him to do that. But I didn't let doubt win. And we moved forward. Over and over and over again, ignoring messages, deleting emails, until there we were, sitting on the back deck of the little house that we had bought together, holding a funeral for our marriage, not to bury it away full of hurts and resentments and sadness, but to honor what it was and to move forward as parents and as friends. Tony is happily remarried, and I am happily remarried, and Carmen isn't just surviving, she is thriving. That brings us to today and why I'm standing here in front of you. Here is what I need you to know. Neither decision I made was wrong. The decision to marry Tony was the right decision, and so was the decision to divorce him. Doubt, however, would tell you otherwise. And that is the tricky thing about doubt. Doubt makes you believe that every decision you make is somehow or another going to make or break you, and that is not the way it works. You get stuck, and you think if I could just somehow get rid of the doubt, then I'm going to be able to make my decision. But that's not the way it works. You've got to trust in your ability to make decisions moment by moment. And when the time comes and you've got to make a different decision, you've got to trust in your ability to make that decision and then conquer whatever is coming at you next. Because you see, the key isn't to try to get rid of doubt. The key is to move forward despite it.